What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. So still been chipping away on the LS conversion and actually managed to get a heap done over the last couple of days. So Friday night and Saturday night managed to pretty much stay up quite late and get a heap done on the fuel system. Originally I was just going to pretty much whack it up where the factory pump goes, sort of about there underneath, but a bit of head scratching and stuff, and it was right where I was going to take the exhaust out. I didn't want the fuel setup right above where the exhaust is going to be, just in case of any leaks or anything, or if it does get real hot there, starts boiling the fuel or anything. And it'd be nice to not burn the car down to the ground. But I will show you guys what we managed to get done. So I ended up doing the fuel system a bit nicer than what I was originally intending, because it's just sort of just going to be whack it, get it going sort of thing. Made a little sealed compartment inside the actual cab for the pump and the filter to sit in. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Just trying to think what else I got done. Feels like that took forever. I have made a start on the drive shaft too, because all the parts have arrived for that. We ended up doing a mission over to Tauranga on Saturday morning. Needed a few more fittings, like bulkhead fittings and stuff for the fuel pump. But other than that, I have been starting to wonder about what to do at the front end, because I did a heap of research a few years ago on the whole like drift setups for the front ends of E30s. Luckily there's quite a bit of information out there. But I'm going to have to get back into reading and doing a bit of homework, because I don't remember what I was going to do. Because I ended up going pretty much just full back to factory for like a bit of grip stuff, had the slicks on there and stuff. I do have some E46 control arms stashed away in somewhere, I think they're in the attic. I need to maybe look at pulling them off, and one of those SLR kits, like the bolt-on plate, just for more lock. And because I'm no drift expert whatsoever, this will be the first, now that I'm going to take this to the track, will be the first time properly trying to drift. So I've got a whole heap of learning to do. Luckily there's quite a few people around that I know that actually drift these and have at least a bit of a clue on setup and all that. So that's going to help a lot. It's going to save a lot of heartache. But yeah, so if you guys have got any tips for setting up E30 chassis for drifting, I'm pretty much open to learning off anyone. If anyone's got any tips or tricks or whatnot. The first proper drift day I'll be taking this to will be at the Mary Drift Park, which is a real tight, low speed little drift track, so that should be a good bit of fun, a lot of learning. I think it's relatively unforgiving. I think it's got pretty gnarly drops off the track. If you end up going off, you can do a bit of damage, but it's what it is. Nothing a hammer and a welder won't fix, so that's alright. I am still hopefully going to make it to Chrome. There is still a fair few bits to do. I'm not going to be too bummed if I don't make it to Chrome, but it would be nice to go and stretch its legs and see if there's any issues. The main thing really will be sorting out the ECU and the running and stuff now, because I don't want to put all the front end together until I've tested the clutch, which hopefully will be one night this week. I can test the clutch because I'll be able to crank the motor over soon. I could probably crank it over now if I chucked the battery in it, but there's a few other things I want to check and make sure that it's actually sweet and not going to melt the whole electrical system as soon as I turn it on. I just want to go through with a multimeter and just recheck all my pins and plugs, make sure everything's sweet and nerfed out properly. I'm definitely getting super excited to drive this thing. I was watching some other videos of LS's and E30s and stuff. It's getting me all barred up. I just want to jump in it and go for a thrash really. So tell you what guys, I'll jump up and I'll show you the progress on the fuel system. Okay, so those of you who are E30 fans probably already know this, but usually the fuel pump's just tucked up under here on the passenger side or left hand side. There's usually just the pump and filter sitting here, and I was going to do that again, but my exhaust is going to be poking out here. And obviously if that did leak, whoop, should go up like a barking dog. But what I ended up doing is I just run a line here up over the top, just a bit of heat shield on there, and that runs up into the cabin here, which we'll run around and show you. And this is the final product for the fuel system. It's all in this little box, and it's just riveted on and then sealed around. I've got a little hole, you can't quite see it, it's down in the back there, so if any of this does leak, it'll all leak and then outside of the vehicle, so nothing's inside the actual cab. I ended up having to drop the fuel tank and everything down to get all this setup done, just because I got the bulkhead fittings through the back here. So I dropped the tank out, drained all the fuel out of it, and then just rehashed all my tubing in here. Because I've got a few more thicker tubes in here, that doesn't fit quite nicely, so I just got to modify it a little bit, pretty much just for that return line there. But I'm super stoked how it turned out. Ended up looking real nice and tidy. Got this little lid that bolts on there with a little seal inside. And it just simplifies the setup too, because with this LS I'm just running one of these filters, so it's got the pressure relief in it. So it's literally just goes from the pump through into that filter, and then it's got a return from there, and then from there to the motor. So it's just one single line up to the front. Just makes it like super tidy and clean, and just pretty much real easy setup. When I was making this, I probably should have made this a bit longer, give myself a bit more room. Ended up working out all right, but it's probably wouldn't go any more tighter with those fuel line bends. And as well as that fuel system, pretty much been ticked off the list and done. I have made a start on the drive shaft. So I went and grabbed a new hanger bearing, and then I've cut this down. I just need to weld this on, mark my line, and to make sure these are all phased up correctly. That's how much I cut off it. That's how much longer that gearbox is. Check that out. I'll do it this way up. So that's good. I do have a 1350 yoke for that. Uni, sorry. So it's nice and solid. Definitely won't be snapping the uni, but we'll see how long this tube lasts. Got a real solid slip yoke in the back of the gearbox. I think I might have showed you guys in the last video. So this week we'll be mostly getting that drive shaft done, and hopefully the ECU sent off to get unlocked, because then after that it's pretty much just piecing together all the fiddly little bits. Plug everything in on the motor, because even though the wiring's done, I just need to plug it, like I just laid everything out, need to plug it all in properly, put my air filter on, get my belt, and then I can try and crank it over and check my clutch, because that's going to be the main thing if the motor has to come back out. So I'm super pumped with the progress for the last couple of days. The fuel system took longer than I thought, but it turned out way better than I thought it was going to. So I'm way stoked with that. So just checking out this quick video, guys, and hopefully we'll be making a lot more noise in the next one. Should be by the end of this week, hopefully. So we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.